Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of We Don't Know What We're Doing, a real talk faith show. Thank you so much for joining me. This is episode 4. And listen, today I'm doing things a little bit different today, okay? And I'm doing things a little bit different because in keeping with the authenticity of the show, which is we don't know what we're doing, and also perfectly timed with the topic of the show today, which is real authentic women. I'm doing this episode a little bit different, and probably moving forward, we'll be doing the episodes a little bit different. And I'm going to share with you why. I don't know if some of you have noticed, some may have not noticed that this episode that was supposed to air earlier during the week did not get aired. And there's a reason for that. It didn't get aired. And of course, I'm going to share it with you. And I hope when this is over, you will benefit from some of the things that I have said. This show, when God gave it to me, is supposed to be real talk. It's supposed to be real talk about us, about what we're going through, about our faith, and how sometimes we really just don't know what we're doing. And sometimes we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's happening. And the only way we can know what's happening is if we talk to our Father. We get it straight from the being that knows it all, is all, made all, right? And so what I want to share with you this week is the reason why the episode is airing a little later than what I normally have it planned to air. So as a creator, I have to consistently create, right? I have to consistently come up with stuff and create. And I have to consistently come up with ideas, not just for myself, but for my clients. Sometimes those ideas are good ideas, or they come very easy for my clients, very easy for myself. And there are other times where it is work. Creating is hard work because you have to get the idea and then you have to execute it. And in the end, when all is done, you guys are seeing the execution. And I talked a little bit about this on episode 1. And the thing for me is that when I create and create for you guys and also create for my clients, I have this thing that I have to bring excellence. Like, I don't like bringing subpar stuff because I'm not a subpar girl. So I gotta bring my game up. So in saying that, I am very particular about my craftsmanship and how my end product is. So I usually have a direct vision or something to that extent that guides me. If it's not coming from him, I have something that guides me where in the end I get a finished product. And the point that I'm trying to make is this. Sometimes we hear, I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to talk about me today because this is supposed to be real talk, right? Sometimes I hear whispers that basically tell me what you're doing is not good enough. What you're doing, nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to watch. Nobody's going to get anything out of this. This is not going to benefit anybody. And things of that nature, of basically trying to tell me that the work that I'm doing is not sufficient, that is not up to par. And for a very long time, I've had these and I've had to fight this stuff. Very recently throughout the month, I've been asking God, okay, God, why am I hearing these things? Why am I consistently hearing these things? Why do I keep hearing these whispers and these thoughts, right? Because the truth of the matter is that a lot of the times I get positive feedback from clients, from you guys, from my family, like, hey, oh my gosh, this is good. But for whatever reason, I can't seem to properly take it in. And I still hear these whispers, these things in my head telling me that what I'm doing is not good enough. So mind you, when you're running series and shows and you hear that, and you hear something saying to you that nobody's going to watch, nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to benefit, it really does suppress you. It suppresses, it oppresses, and it demotivates. And so what ends up happening is that whisper is from the enemy. And that what the enemy is trying to do is trying to suppress me. And I'm going to go ahead and just go on a whim and say, some of you guys, the same thing is happening to you, where you hear these whispers that are telling you you're not good enough, especially if you have a calling or if you have an assignment. And what really gets me is in hindsight is that when it comes to this, not only am I suppressing what I have to say and the things that I have gone through and the talks that we need to have, because this is real talk about our faith, about our journey, about the things that we're going through, right? But it's also suppressing the guest that I had here, right? Today we're supposed to be talking to Deanna, and she talks about real, authentic women. And there's some things that Deanna has said that is absolutely powerful. And my listening to those whispers has not only suppressed what I have to say, but it's also suppressed what Deanna had to say. And so I say this because this week I've had to ask God, why do I consistently keep on hearing these things, even though He has told me otherwise and other people have told me otherwise? And what God revealed to me just blew my mind. And I hope this is going to help somebody out there. So instead of all the glitz and glamour that I would usually do, today we're just going to cut right to it. We're just going to have this real talk between me and you and between Deanna. And what he showed me is that some of these things that I am hearing comes from rejection. Now, a lot of us, all of us really, at some point in time have been rejected, right? Either somebody didn't like what we did, what we said, somebody said no, whatever it was. And so we deal with rejection. Now, I've dealt with rejection plenty of times, but what God showed me was what I thought I was just, hey, Stan, you've dealt with rejection before. But what he showed me was that there is a spirit of rejection. And that spirit of rejection that usually comes in sometime around childhood or through some type of trauma. And it is usually in childhood, comes and it consistently tells you that the work that you're doing is not good enough, or the things you're not doing is good enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not this and you're not that. And those thoughts keep on keep playing because that spirit is attached to me. I've allowed it. I've come into agreement with it. I've basically said, you know what? Okay, you are right. I'm going to believe your lies. And that's what I did for a long time. And God had to show me this week because I just couldn't understand the reason why I kept on hearing this. And he gave me this assignment here to reach who I'm supposed to reach. And yet I'm having a difficult time, getting in the right mindset of doing what I need to do, to the point that we're only on episode 4 and there's like consistent warfare. Okay. And I just didn't get it. And so, like I said, I asked him and he said, Stan, this is the spirit of rejection. So I had to cast that thing out. For some of y'all who do not believe in deliverance, who do not believe that is a thing, who do not believe that you cannot self-deliver, straight lie from the pit of hell. You can. Deliverance is real. Self-deliverance is real. And I'm telling you it's real because I've done it, because I did it. And all it takes for you to do it is, number one, Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is going to tell you everything you need to know. And when you trust Holy Spirit and you believe and you walk in that, that is walking in authority. That is the authority that the name of Jesus has given us. And so how I was able to free myself from that, right? And so now the thing that I want to go into is that spirit of rejection, when you constantly hear you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not doing this well enough, we tend to move into people pleasing because we want to please others, because we don't want to be rejected, because we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings of what they want, of the fear of rejection. We people please. We do certain things that we really don't want to do, and we come into agreement with some things that we are just really not okay with because we have a fear of rejection. Some of us may realize that's what it is, and some of us may not even realize that's what we're dealing with. And that's what the enemy does, right? He keeps you blind. He keeps scales in your eyes to for you not to realize what is going on. And the only way you can know what's going on, the only way you can know what you're doing is if you ask Holy Spirit, if you have that conversation with God, and his spirit will speak to your spirit, and he will let you know what it is. So needless to say, I cast that thing out. I came out of agreement with it. I broke all legal contract and legal ties with it. So now I'm here trying to tell somebody that may feel the same way, that what you are hearing is coming straight from the pit of hell. And they are trying to stop you from doing what you have been called to do. They are trying to stop you from doing the assignment that you were assigned to. And it begins somewhere in childhood, somewhere down in line, that you have consistently heard this from family members, friends, whatever it is, and you have internalized it, because that's that break. That's that trauma that we talk about. That's that fragmented soul that we talk about, or we have talked about on this show. So yes, even me, myself, I had thoughts of saying, this ain't gonna work, this is not good enough, this is all of this. Same thing I am sure some of you may be hearing. And I'm here to tell you this is lies. These are straight lies from the pit of hell. And maybe this is the reason why this was happening, because he does not want me, the enemy does not want me to tell you guys to reach somebody that is out there that is having these same thoughts, these same feelings that, listen, these are straight lies, man. He is trying to suppress you. He is trying to delay you. Look at what happened here. Straight delay. He may have delayed, but he did not win, because baby, this episode is going out. It may not have gone out on the day that I wanted it to, but it is still going out. And if you are watching this today, that means the enemy did not win. That means the power of God is mightier than the power of the enemy. He who is in me is greater than he who is in the world. So I'm here to tell you that, listen, number one, deliverance is real. Self-deliverance is real. Two, if you are hearing and you are dealing with not measuring, of feelings of not measuring up, from feelings of not feeling that you are worthy, that you are good enough, that you like to people please because you don't want to be rejected, all the things, listen, that is straight a spirit that is trying to suppress you, especially if it's getting in the way of your calling and what you need to do. And I'm telling you right now, let's talk about it. You guys, this is supposed to be an interactive show. This is what he gave me. This is one of the reasons why he kept on saying to me, it is not a podcast. We're supposed to interact. And if you are out there dealing with this, reach out to me. I have people that can help you. I have people that do deliverance. I have people that can help you with classes and all the things, because in this season that we are in, we are supposed to be healing. We are supposed to be getting better, because I'm telling y'all, the trumpets are about to sound soon. The trumpets are about to sound soon. And God is trying to give us time to build up his army, to get as many people healed as possible, so you can be on his army. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to start the healing process and start getting rid of those lies and start breaking some of those lies off, breaking some of that bondage off, and being free. Ain't nothing better than having freedom, than knowing freedom, than tasting freedom, y'all. And this right here that you see is straight freedom, that I don't have to be like, oh, okay, well, let me do this. Let me do green screen. Let me do all the things. And man, now I know every time that I hear that coming, that I see it coming from a mile away. No, no, don't even bring that to me, because I know that's a lie straight from the pit of hell, because that's not what my father told me. That's not what my father showed me. That is not what is being said to me. And I casted you out. So you are not about to come here with your little raggedy friends trying to fill up my house. I don't think so, because this house, this castle belongs to him. It belongs, and it is filled with Holy Spirit. And if I get a sniff, a whiff of any of y'all just trying to stay rent free in this castle, baby, I am evicting you. I am straight evicting you. And this is the thing that I just don't understand, why y'all should not be afraid. Y'all should run to this, because when you're running to it, it's freedom, y'all. It is just straight freedom. But anyways, guys, let's just talk. Let's just talk to one another. I understand I'm on the screen, but I promise you, let's just talk. Let's talk in the comments. Let's talk in the emails. Let's do this, because the more that you guys communicate, you are able to let me know what you guys are dealing with, and I can get the right people in, and we can get through this together, because the truth is, we don't know what we're doing, and we need Holy Spirit. We need God. We need Jesus to guide our way. And if y'all don't talk, if y'all don't say nothing, we're not gonna get there. So I'm going to bypass all the fancy schmancy stuff today. You guys know we have merch. You guys know we have a theme song. Okay. You guys know you need to subscribe. You guys know all the things. So just do it, please. Let the algorithm do what it do. Share with somebody. Okay. I'm not going to do all the whistles and all the bells again. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go straight into street talk, and then we're going to do the interview, and then we're going to hear from one of our sponsors. And that's going to be it, guys. That is going to be it. This is supposed to be real, raw, authentic. This is supposed to be real talk. And again, keeping in line with the show. After my encounter with God this week in regards to this is my definition of real, authentic woman, is a woman who is willing to take a look at herself, at all her flaws, good, bad, and ugly, and is willing to do the work through Holy Spirit to be better, to show others the Christ in her, because we all have that DNA in us, to be able to forgive, to be able to say, I'm sorry, and to also be able to forgive ourselves, to walk in what we were designed to be. And most of all, do the hard work. Do what others are not willing to do. That is a real, authentic woman. And on that note, let's go ahead and keep the show rolling.
Stepped out, don't need no map. Moving faith, God don't cap. Word on flex, God say rest. Trying to walk with the steps, get blessed. Think I'm running? Nah, that's a lie. Without his voice, I can't even fly. Big dreams, but the vision get blurry. Trust the king, I ain't never been worried.
What does it mean to me to be a real authentic woman? Let's see. I think it means listening to your spirit and having discernment. Because a lot of the times, us women don't listen to our gut, and our gut is the most precious gift that God above could give us. So we need to make sure that we're listening to that part of us, because that will never steer us wrong. And a lot of the times that would help us with discernment, to help us determine whether or not we should do business with someone, make professional relationships with someone, or even have someone as a client.
Wow, that's a very interesting and very mind-provoking question. What makes a real, authentic woman? Well, everyone has their own individuality, and it's hard to say there's a specific category or group that you put everyone into. Everyone brings their own individuality. There's so many women here, for example, very diverse group. So it's really hard to say what makes a real authentic woman. For me personally, my spirituality and belief in God comes first. And then, of course, family, career, and family and friends, and those, around me that I care about. But I don't know. It's very different for every person. So I can't say there's one specific definition for an authentic woman. I just think it varies.
Hi there, my name is Lydia, and what I feel like is a real woman is someone who is also pretty on the inside and pretty on the outside as well. I think a lot of times people can convey just a different look on the outside, but it doesn't match on the inside. And I think the authenticity for that is to match that. So having actual real substance as well.
All right. So I feel what makes a real, authentic woman is being able to tap into your true essence of self, living unapologetically your life, and being carefree. We have so many women who doubt what they say, they apologize for what they do and how they live. Just be you. You're beautiful. You have God given strengths and innate talents that the world needs to know and the world should see. So, authentically, beautifully, just carefree. I think that is what makes us authentic. That's what makes us raw. And that's what shows our true beauty. And I think every woman should shine forward, be yourself, and love yourself most importantly.
So, what makes a woman authentic to me is when somebody is true to themselves and they are not afraid to showcase that. A lot of times when we step into rooms, we want to act as somebody else or put a persona on. But the best person is the one who can step into a room and be themselves and own it and really bring that light into every space that they enter.
What makes a real authentic woman? First and foremost, we are dedicated. We are powerful. We are supporters. We are the backbone. We are the real candy. We are everything. A woman intuition is everything. We're everything. That's it.
What makes an authentic woman is when she is unapologetically herself. She doesn't care what other people say about her. She's true to her story. She's true to herself. And she does her own thing regardless of outside noise. So that's what makes an authentic woman. And the authentic woman is me. That's me. All right.
Are you looking for a place that gets your hustle? Well, welcome to the Biz Lounge, the ultimate work hub for entrepreneurs. Need a business address? Want to host a podcast? Need a space for a client meeting or an event? We've got space for that. Private offices, conference rooms, podcast studio, cafe, kitchen, even a mail room, and a printer and copier. Yep, we thought of everything. Stop working from your couch and come build your business like a boss at the Biz Lounge.
Come see it for yourself. Book your tour today.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. I am your host, Stanislaus Jones, also known as Stan Jones. And today we have a wonderful guest. Okay, the boss chick of real estate. This woman is a powerhouse. She is an author. She is an entrepreneur. She is all the things. We have Miss Deanna Green. Yay!
Yay! Thank you so much. Let's go.
Let's go. And today we're going to be talking about real, authentic women.
Oh, yes.
Because some of y'all ladies out there, y'all fronting.
That's right.
So my girl, she's going to give us the skinny. We're going to talk about it all. So Deanna, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. I'm super proud of you too. I'm so excited. When you reached out, I'm like, yes, girlfriend, let's go. So yeah, thank you again for having me on.
Yes. So let's get it on and
Yeah,
popping, right? And people are like, maybe some of y'all might be like, well, what's a real authentic woman?
Uh-huh.
So what is that? What is that we are claiming when we are saying we are real authentic women?
So for me, it truly means you walking in your authenticity, like exactly who you are behind closed doors. Make sure that same person shows up in front of the camera. So many times, especially right now on social media, obviously, it's very easy for us to, front, feel like that we have to be always in performative mode. We're always got a camera in front of us. And so we shy away from really showing the world or those closest to us who we truly are. A lot of times I feel that women, when we always meet each other, the first thing we want to lead with is what we do, our accolades, what sorority we're a part of, what degrees we hold and all of that. And that's great. But the core essence and the authenticity is really who you are, because that's what led you to what you do. And so I'm just certainly at this point in my life where I realize that I may not be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm completely okay with that as long as I'm walking in my authenticity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of women out there that want to be everybody's cup of tea. And I do believe once we learn that we're not everybody's cup of tea,
Right.
we're better off, because then we, like you said, we get to be our true authentic selves, and we now get to zone in on that person or the women or the people.
Your tribe, your actual tribe finds you when you are your most authentic self. And I have realized that in the last year of asking God to purge and prune certain people in my life. And it literally hit me like a couple of weeks ago that I was like, Deanna, your ministry is to meet women where they are, where they might not feel comfortable yet being their most authentic self. Help them get there, whether that's in their personal life or the professional life. And then I have to be okay with that they may only be here for a season and not for a lifetime. And so that's what God is revealing to me is, Deanna, your authenticity is that you can be a platform and a foundation and help women be able to discover their voice, tell their story without any shame, judgment, ridicule, anything like that. But also know that my ministry may mean that once I help that woman elevate and get to that level, that she's supposed to leave the flock.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time with that because my thing was I've been pouring and I've been pouring and I've been pouring. So that means you should stay, right?
Yeah.
So that's been, so my authenticity now is realizing that, Deanna, that can't be the case.
Yeah. And when you move in that helps also because that doesn't allow expectations on people.
Absolutely.
Which is where we get disappointed because we have expectations. And when people don't meet that expectations or they do what we want to do, we're hurt, right?
Yeah.
So that's...
Well, and then the other thing I realized recently is it doesn't leave room for the other women that God needs to bring into my life to expand my ministry for Him. If I continue to keep these seats filled at the table with those that I only want there, it doesn't allow room for other women that He says, this is part of the flock. This is who I'm bringing into your atmosphere in order for you to help elevate. And those seats were filled. So I had to kindly ask some people, I'm going to need for you to get up and make room for some other people.
Yeah. So, as you're talking, what I'm hearing is, you say ministry, right? And there's a lot of people out there that when we hear the word ministry, we think of the church.
Right.
Right? Because I ain't even gonna lie, I was that way. When I thought of ministry, I thought ministry needed to be in the church. But it's not.
No. And that's why I would never put that word on it. I didn't know that that's what it was. I did not know that that's what I was doing. It literally until a couple of weeks ago. When I was like, okay, Lord, like you got me building this platform. You've got me, doing this rebirth. And you're telling me that this is the next evolution. And you're also, all of a sudden, I had this influx of various women with different backgrounds DMing me, texting me, commenting when Let's Be Raw rebirth happened. And I was like, this is a ministry.
Yeah.
This is it. And then yesterday, it solidified for me. I called my best friend up. We're on the phone for like 2 hours. And I'm recapping an event that I just recently been at the last couple of days. And she said it. And it was, you hear it once, but then you hear it from somebody else close to you. She said, Deanna. And I didn't even tell her that that's what had been revealed to me 2 weeks ago. We're just on having this conversation. I'm really venting. I'm frustrated. I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? And she said, Deanna, this is your ministry. She was like, my ministry, I don't want a lot of women around me. That's not her ministry. She was like, but your ministry is that because you fit comfortably in that space. But yeah, so she said it. She was like, this is your ministry. And I sat there and I'm on my patio and we're FaceTiming each other.
That hit you, right?
It hit me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you're scared to put that word on it because now I don't want anybody looking at me and saying, well, not even judging me. I didn't want I think the weight of when you use ministry and you talk about flock and you talk about your calling. Now people want me to start being able to, speak the whole Bible and say every scripture out there. And that's not me. I have a very, very close relationship with God. I know what all of my resources, my power, everything I know comes from Him. But I'm also not the woman that can sit down and tell you every Bible script. I can't. I know the ones that hit home to me. So that's another reason why I was really scared to be able to speak that and say that. Because I'm like, now, are you expecting that you don't want to be able to see me out somewhere dancing and having a good time? I might drop the S word every now and then because it is my favorite curse word, right? Like, I want to be able to be honest with that, but I don't want people to get confused when I say ministry and I say flock and I say my calling. Then it's like, oh, she got to be church lady. No, that's not me. That's not me.
I hope some of y'all that are out here, y'all heard that. Because for me, that is huge. If you're out there and you have something that God has given you, but you are scared of some of these lukewarm, fake Christians,
that's right,
that is stopping you from doing what you are called to do because of the what they have attached to the word ministry. That automatically means once you part of a ministry, I gotta walk this very, very straight line. And I'm not there. I always say God knows that I am a work in progress. I'm gonna be a work in progress until I'm at the feet of Jesus. Like, I already know that. That's confirmation for me too. Because I felt the same way. I was like, what am I doing? I ain't doing nothing. People like, girl, Stan, that's your minute. I'm like, man, what you talking about? I'm just having fun over here. I'm just using the gift He gave me and I have ideas and that's it. And so when people tell me that, I'm like, nah. So let me ask you this, right? In what you are doing, right? Because we're going to talk about, look, Deanna has 52 Shades of Wealth. She has a magazine. She has a book. She has
a technology app.
Knock Knock. Yes, okay.
My whole real estate portfolio,
Come on, tell the people.
So, real estate broker, commercial, residential, investing, development. We have the lending piece of it as well. We've also got a brick and mortar called the Biz Lounge off of Barker Cypress.
I done told y'all about y'all done see my videos about the Biz Lounge.
Stan is our in-house videographer, photographer. Yeah, this is our go-to girl here for sure.
But with that, you have heard everything that Deanna does, right? So when you meet somebody who like you, right? Some people can get like very
intimidating,
right? And it is intimidating. So do you ever feel like you have to dim your light for some of those people?
I did in the past. I would definitely say in my 20s, I suffered from imposter syndrome. I didn't show up my most authentic self. I dimmed my light, especially in corporate America, because I was typically either one of the only female, and certainly in 99% of the times, I was the only female and African American female. So talk about that kind of pressure, right? And then it transferred over into my 30s. I didn't really get my first true girlfriend until my late 20s. And I didn't even know what that was, because my mother had always said, you can't trust females. Don't trust females. Don't trust them around your man. Don't trust them around your money. You know, it was all of that. So I was very, very shy about wanting to connect with women. And then my later 30s, I started shedding the imposter syndrome. I started realizing that what was special about me was the fact that I could walk into a room and a room would shift. Ooh. And I didn't know that. And so I would feel it, and then all of a sudden I would retreat. I would, not speak up as much. I didn't necessarily work the room. I didn't network the way I network now. Now I walk into a room and I expect the room to shift. I expect that when I leave out, somebody's tongue is wagging, trying to figure out who was that right there. Somebody is trying to make their way over to me because there's a light, I realize, around me that naturally attracts people. That there was a time where I felt like it was a curse. Wow. I felt like people could walk up to me and within 5 minutes of knowing me, they were ready to tell me their entire life story. And I would be like, they talk about spiritual warfare, right? So I was always afraid that, when you start hearing people's story consistently, when you have the type of heart that I have, which is a servant's heart, I am here to be of service. I love storytelling. So for you to sit down and tell me your story, I can just literally get lost into it to the point where I can go back and recite your story almost verbatim weeks later. So I didn't realize that was a gift. I kept saying, Lord, why do you keep bringing these people around me? Because you also know what happens is, now I want to get in the trenches with you. Yeah. If you tell me your story, you're going through some kind of hardship, pain. You don't know how to get through something. And I feel blessed or privileged that you're sharing your story with me. Then I feel a sense of obligation. Yeah. Oh, sis, let me get in here with you. Yeah. Let me help you. Let me connect you with this person. And what I started realizing was, now I'm down in the trenches digging your stuff and trying to get us out. But you standing up top now talking about, girl, you got it? You good? And then I look around and she done created a whole nother mess over here and has now asked me to come and help with this situation. So I felt like it was a curse. I was like, Lord, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. You good? Did I must have hit something. You must know exactly what I'm talking about. That's confirmation right there. So now I realize that it's actually a blessing that God said, because there's a lot of people that don't or aren't comfortable being able to share their story authentically. And so that's why I knew that when he told me last year, you need to pick back up Let's Be Raw. You need to rebirth it. And you need to do exactly what I told you it was supposed to do, which was meet women where they are today and to help them be able to speak their truth and tell their story. So I got you, sis. I said, let's just keep going. Yeah. Let's just keep going here.
She got you.
Yeah. But you feel me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like sometimes.
Absolutely. Because you end up wanting it more for them than they want it for themselves.
Oh my God. And then I would get mad.
That's irritating.
Ooh, I get pissed off.
Like, why aren't you doing
I would be like, hold up. Yeah. You brought me this situation. You asked me for my help. I'm giving you great advice, resources, opportunities, and you're not taking advantage of it, and all you do is wash, rinse, and repeat, and you do the same thing again. Yeah. So for most people, it could also make you feel like this isn't my ministry. Yeah. Like nobody's listening to me. Yeah. I'm giving all this great advice. I'm helping you. And you're still not listening. Yeah. And that's why I said 2 weeks ago, it was like, yes, but your part of the ministry is to give what you can. Let them take what they're supposed to take from it, but also be okay that it may only be for a season.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough, because what I see with that is a lot of the times too, we tie that to us, that self, right? Mm-hmm. It's like I'm giving you this, and why are you not listening to me? Yeah. Like I'm trying to help you,
and why you're not reciprocating. May not be in the same manner, but the reciprocation part of it comes into where I went into where you might not be able to help here, but when you can, in my mind, it should just be a natural reaction because of what I've done for you. That was also something he revealed to me, because that's not true servience heart. If I'm just truly being of service to you, there shouldn't be any expectation. Right?
Right.
That's hard because we're also humans. We're also are people that we are reactive to things before being truly responding to it. So a lot of us are very reactive. You know, if I do for you, reaction wise, you're supposed to be doing for me.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you don't, I'm reacting to that versus maybe sitting back and looking at it and being able to have a response that just says, well, you know what? Maybe she wasn't even able to give me what it is that I was asking for or needing. Or maybe God said she's not the one that is supposed to give you that. Maybe he's got another woman or another man or another person over here that he's just waiting for you to get this person out of the seat from the table, so then he could turn around and say, okay, here I'm ushering in the person that's actually going to give you what it is that you're looking for. That was hard.
Yeah.
And it's still a work in progress, because I still have some girlfriends right now that I'm over here like, Lord, I feel like you showing me some stuff.
Yeah. But that also speaks to maturity too.
Yep.
That also speaks to maturity. And so my next question leads into when you are, when I'm hearing you say things, there's a lot of women and men out there who cannot come to the revelation that you just came to. And so they're getting mad at people, they're spinning their wheels, they're expecting stuff, they're getting disappointed, which keeps the cycle going, right? So when you get to that point where things are hard for you, right? How do you go to God? How do you tie that back into just how do you tap into that to just bring you where you need to be?
Well, every year I tend to have a word or two words that I go to God with, and it always starts at the very end of that year. I'll always say, okay, Lord, these are the words for 2025. So 2024's words were purge and prune. And
I remember.
Oh, honey. And so even when I spoke them out December 31st of 2023, I didn't know exactly what I was asking for. Okay.
We never know. We never do.
No.
We never know what we're asking for.
Even when I be writing it down, and I'll be like, okay, this year, Lord, I'm going to be very, very specific, right? And so I put so much emphasis on these two words. And what I've learned from that is, number one, we also sometimes think we know the definition of some words, right? So in my mind, I thought I knew the definition of purge and prune, okay? What I also didn't realize is that the pain that comes along with purging and pruning, okay? Because what I said to God was, God, do the purging and the pruning in a way that I wouldn't even be able to see it or feel it. Well, that's not practical. But me being specific, I said, because also I know Deanna, and this is the authenticity about who I am and what I've come to realize at this age is, even when the signs are there, my heart will convince me differently. And I'll be like, no, Lord, not her. We good. I can forgive her this time. I can forgive him this time. Not that person. And God showed me, he was like, you said purge and prune. And I was like, don't let me see it, because also in my mind, God knows that if I see it, then I'm going to keep trying to hold on to it. I'm going to give justification. I'm going to give, leniency. I'm going to be disobedient to what I asked him to do.
I feel like you're talking to me right now.
Right? And so he was like, no, you said purge and prune, baby. We get ready to purge and prune. And it was painful. It was painful. So then what comes after the purging and the pruning? Okay, now we plant.
Yeah.
Harvest. My words, and I even changed up for the past 15 years. I've been a devout vision board creator. Every year at the end of the year, I have always done vision boards. So if you know a vision board is, cutting out stuff, putting words up there and everything, right? All the things that I wanted, whether it was materialistic, whether it was for my personal life, whether it was for my business life, whether it was for my family, You know, I am a visual person, so it's always framed. It's in my office where I spend majority of my time, so I'm always looking at it. So this year, in 2024, I said, okay, Lord, I need to do something different. My sister reached out to me. She said, let's do a prayer board. I didn't know what that was. I'll be the first. Like, I didn't know. I was like, huh? She was like, we're going to try. So she started sending me all these TikTok videos. And she was like, hey, this is what a prayer board is. So I was like, okay, Lord, we're going to get even better this year with these words. So the words were harvest. The words were planting. The words were toiling. And so even it was crazy because as soon as I put the words down, my sister is my prayer warrior. She's my spiritual advisor. We're 9 years apart. We're younger. But she knows the word, top to bottom. So I called her up. I said, all right, sis, here's my 3 words. And she said, all right, you know what harvest means? And I said, yeah, like all of a sudden I'm going to get all of this fruits of my labor. She was like, well, what do you have to do when you harvest? She was like, sis, you got to go down there and you got to cut stuff down. You got to work. You got to toil. Yeah. You got to pull up.
That's true.
Honey, it was too late. The word was already in the prayer envelope, okay? We won't taking the word out. I said, so wait a minute. I thought I was saying to the Lord, I done worked. I done toiled, right? I just want to harvest. I just want to sit at the table. Harvest. And the feast is just coming. My sister was like, no, you still got to work for that harvest. So that's why I said I am still learning. Yeah. But I take it to him and I go quiet. So last year, the first part of the year, I started slowly coming off of social media. I did like 2 months of very onesie-twosie posts, which is not the norm for me. If you follow me, I tend to drop, 2-3 videos a day. Ooh, and so I could not show up in my most authentic self. And that's one of the things that, again, last year really taught me was I can't be the person that if my personal life or things, and I'm going to get a little emotional. You ain't supposed to be having me cry on camera. When I realized that the Deanna that was behind the camera was not the same Deanna in front of the camera. I was like, yeah, I can't be out here asking other women to be real, raw, and authentic. And to show up unfiltered, to show up feeling like, that they can truly be themselves if I wasn't doing it. Yeah. And so I said, okay, the first thing I need to do is I need to come off social media. Because it was exhausting trying to get on a camera every day and smile and be the boss chick of real estate and be the visionary behind Boss Chicks International and leading the charge of these women and this movement. And I wasn't feeling it. And it took a couple of my girlfriends. It's funny how you don't realize who's actually watching you, right? Until you're no longer front and center. Yeah. And then I had a couple girlfriends text me. It was like, hey girl, what's going on with you? And I'm like, huh? What? Because I didn't even realize that me going quiet was affecting other people. And so they were like, we're not seeing your face on social media. I'm missing your funny videos. I'm missing your voice. And I'm like, really? Like, again, not thinking that I'm making that type of impact. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna miss that I'm coming off social media. And they did. And then I started feeling back that sense of obligation. Yeah. Okay. Can't lose the lose the tribe. You supposed to be, again, the visionary. You supposed to be the leader. You supposed to be this. And then finally I was like, that's when I went and I was like, all right, God, I asked you to purge and prune. And this is becoming very exhausting. Yeah. And so I went to him and I got quiet. I started writing again. I hadn't done that in a while. I started reading again. Reading had always been a passion of mine for years. And life took hold. Yeah. Right? Family, kids, building a business, obligation, wanting to be that girlfriend for all of my girlfriends and pushing me to the back. And so I was like, oh Lord, this isn't going to work. And so when he cleared out the dust, when I was no longer in the eye of the storm, when the rose-colored glasses came off. That's when I really felt like, this is the real Deanna. Yeah. There's some days I don't want to be bothered. There's some days I don't want to be the visionary. Yeah. There's some days that I don't want to talk to them. There's some days where I just want to curse everybody out. Right? Like, that's authentically me. Yeah. There's some days where as soon as I think it, I want to be able to speak it, and it's not maliciously, it's just that's my release. Whereas in the past, I always had to be the one to process it and the one to say, oh, wait a minute, let me think about their feelings first. Yeah. Right? Let me tone down who I am and how I respond or react to things because of the audience that's in front of me. And now, don't do that. No. Because it's almost cancerous, right? And we know what cancer does, right? Once it gets in and it spreads, it kills. And so I'm like, I cannot keep swallowing. That's how it felt. Yeah. It's like I was swallowing poison each time I wasn't authentically Deanna. And even now, the purge and the prune, as necessary as it was, I'm so grateful for it. Yes. I feel lighter. I feel happier. I am happier. Yeah. Right? And I'm even happy in a sense where I think sometimes when we ask for something and we get it, we'll even pretend that we're okay with it. I did that last year. I pretended. I was like, yeah, I'm good that this person isn't here, this person isn't there. And then I had to check myself. I'm like, no, you're not really good. Yeah. So go through the process. Why aren't you good? Now I'm good. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And that's that authenticity. Yeah. And that's what I'm leaning into. That's what I'm so happy about. And I'm having these conversations now with women that are texting me and emailing me and DMing me, and Deanna, I want to be on, in the magazine. I want to be on your podcast. And so I'm doing Zoom calls, because what is important to me in this authenticity stage is I want to know a woman's true intentions and motives.
And that's where you led right into it, because that was going to be my next question. Yes. How are you able to trust some of these people? Yeah. Some of these women, in regards to their intentions, their motives, when they're reaching out to you now, because now, once again, you're at the spotlight. You are the boss chick of real estate. Let me tap into you. Yep.
That access. That access.
Yes, because everybody's trying to clout. Everybody's trying to rise up. Yep. And folks don't want to do the work. They want to ride somebody's coattail instead of just doing the work. Even if you don't know what you're doing. Right. Do the work. Right. Right? Mm-hmm. So how do you navigate that?
Well, this time around, I'm doing interviews, like before the interview. So like yesterday was a full day. I had 6 back-to-back Zoom calls, 30-minute sessions. That's time consuming. Yeah. But it's important to me now, because what I realize is the other gift God has given me that I didn't lean into is discernment. When I get a certain feeling about somebody, there's a reason why I'm getting that feeling. Yeah. And I need to tap into that. I don't need to push it to the side, because I was doing that. And what I realized, and this is again in full transparency, was because I had my own motives and I had my own intentions as to why did I want to be connected to that person.
So you had to check your own heart.
I had to check my own heart. Yes. Yeah. I had to be like, okay, well, Deanna, if you going in with certain intentions and certain motives, then you can't be mad if all of a sudden their intentions and their motives come to the light and it didn't line up with what you wanted, right? So I had to check myself. So this time I was like, no, I'm going to interview every woman. I want them to be able to tell their story. And if I can't do it in person, doing it on the Zoom would at least allow me to be able to watch body language. I've studied that enough to know when people are truly, truly truthful and in tune to what they're saying, there's a certain way that they lean in.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a certain eye contact that they give you. They're not all over the place. They can tell their story so clear and crisp that you don't have to wonder, is this the truth? Is she ad-libbing? Right? Is she embellishing? And yesterday I had one girl up there. I could tell. And I could tell even in her conversation that she still had some healing that needed to be done. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't, yeah. This isn't the platform for that. You're not there yet.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to tell your story, but you still got to be able to tell it authentically. And right now, a lot of it was still, well, it's this person's fault, and it's that person's fault, and it's this and it's that, right?
That's the telltale sign.
Right. So for me, for me, I knew then, I was like, yeah, no, this isn't the one here. Then I get on a phone call with another one, and I know this girl, thinking I know her as intimate as we can know each other, right? And I say, what do you want to share? And I had already had in my mind, I was like, oh, I know what she's going to want to talk about. She blew my mind away when she told me and shared a situation and experience that she has been holding on to for 27 years.
Wow.
And she wants to be able to come on and tell that story to the world on my platform.
Wow.
Those are the stories. And that's when I knew her intentions are pure. This wasn't, she just said, Deanna, I finally have gotten this monkey off my back. I finally forgiven myself. God told me a long time ago he had forgiven me for this, but I didn't want to trust him.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
But if you saw this woman today, she is 10 toes down for Jesus. Quote the scripture front to back, right? But if you knew this secret that she had been holding on to for 27 years, it would blow your mind. That's the intention. I know what your intention is. So my intention lines, and that's what Oprah said last week, which really hit home to me. She was like, when she was on her TV show, she made some key points. She said there was 2 interviews that she had done before she realized that her intentions had to line up with whatever guest she had on her show, or she had made it very clear to her producers that show would not happen. She didn't care what the ratings were going to be. The first one was, she said she interviewed members of the KKK.
Wow.
She said they came on, and her being a journalist, she said it. She said, my intentions and what I thought was going to happen was, I'm going to shine light on this level of racism. Hopefully I'm going to change some people's mindsets and this, that, and the other. She says, as they're on stage and they're filming, she said she remembers asking a question and she just happened to look over, and she said, and she doesn't even believe the audience caught it, but she saw the 3 guys that she was interviewing exchanging signs, and they were communicating through whatever signs that they were doing. And she said that she finished the episode. She said, but right then when she saw them kind of making signs at each other, she said she knew something in her spirit hit her. And she was like, something's not right here. After the interview had wrapped up, she says that she called the leader of that group and asked him, says, I saw you all exchanging signs. What was that all about? And he said, at that particular moment when you asked me that question, he said, we knew then that this was going to be the exact platform that we needed to help push our cause. He said that from that interview, it was the biggest platform that they had ever been on, and they used her interview for recruitment, and they had received their highest level of recruitment from her. So that was situation number 1. She said the second situation was where a woman had come on because her 16-year-old daughter had been murdered by her boyfriend. And she said it had been all over the news, but everybody just kept focusing on the girl's death. And so Oprah said she went backstage to her and she was talking to her, and she said, what's your intentions for coming on the show? And the lady said, I don't know, your producers called me. She said, no, what's your intentions? And she said, the lady said, she started crying, and the lady said, I'm tired of everybody talking about my daughter's death. My daughter had a life. She had a beautiful life. She was loved by her siblings. She was loved by me, her father. She was she was an A student. She was headed off to college. That's what I want people to know. So Oprah said, in that moment, I told her, well, here's my intentions. My intentions is, yes, I may have to exploit some of your pain and what all happened. She said, but I can promise you that when the audience leaves today, she said they're going to see their daughter in your daughter. And they are going to know that your daughter had an amazing life. And she said after that, every time the producers would come to her and would say, this is what we're going to do, she said she would tell them, if I can't even find a sliver of where my intentions will line up with this, we're not doing it.
Wow.
And that's where I've changed now. Now it's even the people that are now wanting to get connected to me. I'm even the type, listen, I'm going to go on camera, I'm going to say this. If you are truthful and honest with me, hey, Deanna, look, girl, I just saw you rubbing elbows with Oprah. I'm trying to figure out how to do this and do that. Or I just saw you with this politician. Can you connect me with that person? If you just be truthful in your intentions and motives, it allows me to say whether or not I want to play in this sandbox with you. Yeah, girl, I can help you out. But then I don't have any expectations.
Yes.
Women aren't doing that. They're not doing that.
I think I think it speaks a lot of the time, also the times that we're in. The time that we're in, people are all about themselves. They're not about truth, right? It's just selfishness, selfish motives, and that gets a lot of people hurt, and then in turn gets yourself hurt. Yeah,
and it contributes to mental health issues. Because if you don't know how to process it, or you don't see it for what it is, pivot, make some adjustments, check your own heart posture, because that's what I had to do, multiple times. And then again, look at yourself in the mirror. Like, I had to have a lot of conversation with Deanna. I was like, look, Deanna, girl, you got to change. And you're going to have to change in ways that there might be people close to you that are not going to be okay with it. But that's okay too. That's okay too.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, it's really hard out here, especially when you think about, I am such a girly girl. I am such a woman for woman. I am such girl power all day long. Like, I'll take a woman's word over a man's word all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go hard for us, right? I'm out here creating, platforms. I'm building a foundation for other women to come. So that was the other thing I had to also check myself on, was, Deanna, the audacity of you to get upset for women wanting to hang on to your coattails. Well, baby girl, you building that.
Yeah.
You are literally building platforms. You are coaching and mentoring women in real estate. You are literally building exactly that. So the audacity of you getting mad because people want to clout chase. I realize now, I was in Dallas sitting down, and this woman walked by me, and she said, "You somebody, aren't you?" And I laughed because I was like, yeah, of course I'm somebody, right? Like, I ain't understand that. She's like, no. She said, I know you. I don't know where I know you. So I said, well, I'm affectionately known as a boss chick in real estate. Oh my God, girl, I follow you on social media, right? Later on at the VIP mixer, also sitting down, lady walks by. She was like, Deanna. I said, yeah. She was like, girl, thank you so much for helping my client. My husband is his sports agent, this, that, and the other. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I do not know who this lady is, right? So I also know that there's these levels to it, and I'm going up these levels, which means more and more people.
Influence.
Yeah. So that's the other part where I'm truly now even more so leaning into my word of discernment.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Lord, I got more women now coming at me. I got more women. And if you're not careful, you could easily fall in that trap of that fan lifestyle, right? Yeah. You could easily fall into that trap of loving all the accolades and the round of applause. And oh my God, that's her right there, right? You could fall into that and completely miss your true ministry and your true calling.
Yeah.
And I almost did.
Yeah.
I almost did. I can say that. I almost did.
Yeah. So with everything that you're learning and you're leaning into, and God is giving you revelation and you're showing and you're learning, right? So for you, what pieces of your experience and the things that you have gone through that you still struggle with today?
Ooh, what pieces do I still struggle with? I think it's still showing up for Deanna.
Ooh, girl.
Yeah.
I feel that. Oh.
Yeah.
I feel that one.
Yeah, I feel like I still struggle with, because it's so much easier to put everybody else before you.
Why you
Right?
do that?
I'm sorry.
Come on now.
Oh, God. You said we don't know what we're doing. And girl, yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. And I read your questions ahead of time, and I didn't think they were going to invoke this, right? But that's the authenticity.
Yeah, that's real though.
Right? Still trying to show up for Deanna. And not, because here's the other thing, and particularly for our Black and brown women, right? We start equating it with being selfish. Society has conditioned us Black and brown women that the moment we choose, I say I'm choosing me, and that's before a husband, kids, family, friends, your church. Like, you choosing you first? How dare you? How dare you? That's selfish. But the other thing I've come to realize again when I say looking up the words, right? How is it selfish of me when the key word in there is self? How about self-preservation? How about the reason why I might have had to remove myself from this situation or from you, or pull myself away, or go off and have a day of self-care just for myself?
Yeah.
Why is that selfish? How about it truly is self-preservation?
Yeah.
Let's change that word. It's not selfish.
Yeah. Because you have to recharge, you have to renew.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And since this is, a faith-based show, like even Jesus had to do that.
Yes.
Even Jesus pulled time away from his disciples, from his people to go one-on-one
That's right.
with God to recharge, to get right with him so he can go out and basically minister to everybody else
That's
that
right.
was pulling power from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was just, even though he's great almighty, but it's just exactly like you just said, right? You have this power and everybody's just continuously just like pulling on you. And then some of them get it, which are the ones, right? That come and they give back to you and they get it.
Yeah.
And then there are the ones that just pull on your power and then they just keep on moving. They don't even come back to say thank you.
No.
They don't even come back.
I'm like,
to say
Dad, bring a
thank you.
generator. Bring something to recharge me. Like, bring something. Yeah. So I'm still struggling with that, and I'm making progress. I'm taking baby steps. Even little things. I remember before I got married to my husband, I used to go and have dinner by myself, or I love movies. I would go watch a movie by myself, or go just take a day, a couple of hours at the spa area by myself or whatever. So I'm starting to incorporate that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, even that's not easy, because again, if you got a spouse that's been used to you always being present and you always being connected, and then the moment you say, me and my husband had this real conversation not too long ago. He went back home to South Carolina. We just helped his mother sell her house, and now she's transitioned into independent living care. And he needed to finalize some trust docs and all of that, and he had to actually take him down to the courthouse there. So he went back for 2 days. And so I had a new client in Dallas. And I was like, you know what? I'm going up here, but I'm going to extend my stay the same 2 days. Because I'm thinking, well, you're in South Carolina. I'm going to be in Dallas, whatever. And this is my opportunity to just have me some me time. And, I went to the mall. I did the spa. I did what I wanted to do besides being there with my client, right? And even then, I was feeling guilty. I justified the self-care by saying, well, Deanna, you're still going to work, right? Like, how many of us have done that? Yeah. How many of us still, and in the moments of trying to do something for ourselves, we add work, or we add kids, or we add husband, or we add, again, family, friends, church. We add all this other stuff. And then it makes us feel less guilty if we want to take an hour or two out of our day for ourselves. And he was upset. We had this whole conversation, and he took me saying, well, I just wanted to use this time for some me time. And he literally took it as if, well, what do you need some me time for? You don't want to be around me? I'm like, excuse my language, but how the hell did we get here? Like, all I said was, You down there in a whole nother state taking care of your mama. Now, here's the funny thing. Prior to him meeting up with his mama, he flew to one location to go hang out with some of his college buddies. He played a round of golf. He stayed the night in Charlotte, hung out with them, you know, then went and spent. Now, he's supposed to be there 2 days with his mama. He only spent 1 day with his mama. Okay? This is real, right? He probably gonna kill me when he watches. But it is what it is, right? I'm up here working, right? I'm working. And I say, this wasn't about you. How did you make this about you? And so I will say this. Take back your time because you're never going to get it back.
Yes.
You're never going to get it back. And I'm going to leave with this part too. The last thing that I've always said to God from my lips to his ears is, on the day that I meet my maker, I will not have any boxes I haven't checked.
Yeah.
I won't.
That's good. That's really good. So that is a perfect segue, what you just said. Tell us about your book, Pieces of Me. Yeah, because we got to talk about that.
Right. So Pieces of Me was it's a memoir of determination. It literally started, it's a gift for my children. So it's not really even a gift for the world. It just so happens that I am sharing it with the world. But my mother right now suffers from a lot of different mental issues. She's manic, high levels of anxiety. She was diagnosed with bipolar. Now, this was later on in her life. And what I noticed was that a lot of my mother's mental issues started because of her not having conversations with key people in her life that has shaped her life.
Yeah.
Right? She was so used to being, and I understand it. She was a single mom. She had 4 kids. She's a white woman. All of us are biracial. So even navigating that world, right? She comes from a family of 8. She was the oldest daughter. So she was also the one that had to take care of her siblings. You know, so there was a whole lot of history there. And while my grandmother was still alive, my mother never had the courage to have the conversation with her to just say, Mom, why did you make some of the decisions that you made? Because your decisions impacted me, right? Not to be judgmental to your mother, but to really just say your DNA courses through my veins. And I got to know that some of the things and some of the ways that I act, I react, how I respond, how I show up is definitely coming from you. At least 50% of it is. And so my grandmother passes away and my mom just spirals because she felt like she was the one child out of 8 that was always vying for my grandmother's attention and love. My mom would let our lights get cut off to make sure my grandmother's lights were on.
Wow.
My mom would give away our furniture to make sure my grandmother had furniture. Now, my grandmother had a whole husband. Okay, my mama didn't.
Yeah.
My grandmother wasn't raising any more kids. My mama was, right? So I developed a level of resentment towards my grandmother because of seeing this.
Yeah.
So my grandmother passes away and my mom's got all these unanswered questions. And I said, oh, Lord, that will not be me. So the first thing I did is I had a conversation with my mother. I took her out. We sat down. I said, don't talk to me like your daughter. I don't want to talk to you like your mother. I just want to know your story. When she started sharing, Lord, it was, you talking about me crying here. Oh my God, it was crying. There was moments of anger. There was moments of, Mama, that's not what happened. But it was a purging, right? And I said, I don't want my kids to not know my story. The good, the bad, the indifference. I didn't want them to not have that. So I said, okay, well, right now, they may not be at an age where they want to come and ask me those things. But while I got the good sense in my head, I can still speak it out. And I got the memory capacity to be able to take it as far back as I can and bring it forward. Let me write this down because this book will be forever theirs. If you want to know, I don't want my kids having me on a pedestal. I made a lot of mistakes, a lot. But I also know that as a mother, what we do is when we think we're protecting our children,
from things that we're going through. And I get it. Some things are age appropriate. But at some point, you have got to let them know who you are, because the foundation you've built them on, to some degree, could be built on lies.
Yeah.
And so then you trying to figure out, why is your child attracted to the fast life? Why is your daughter only wanting to be connected to these types of men? Well, it's the foundation and what you showed her, but you didn't really show her everything. So that's what it is. I want my kids to be able to read this book. I want my grandchildren, when I'm gone, my great-grandchildren. Who was your mom? Your grandma wasn't just the boss chick of real estate.
Yeah.
Who was she?
Yeah.
Here you go. Read about her.
That's good. That's good. I think, again, oh my gosh, so many nuggets here that we could just, we could have days to just deep dive into this. But if you guys don't see what she's basically saying is, some of y'all are hurting because you guys are not having those conversations with your parents. And because the truth is, the trauma starts from the childhood. And some of your parents are broken.
That's right.
Because of their own relationships with their own parents. And they didn't have the courage to have those conversations. And so you now are literally changing that trajectory of your bloodline by saying, this is what happened, by talking about it. Because we, Black and brown, have grown in households that basically say, we don't talk about that, right?
Well, and I'll even say this part. My mother watched the first episode of the podcast that had me and my sister on it, where we were talking about our relationship with her. She left me a voicemail yesterday. It was, you need to call me right now. And I was like, what? Like, I ain't heard that tone since I was a little girl. I called her up. And she was like, never mind, I don't want to talk about it. And I said, no, Mama, we're not going to do this. I was like, what is it? I just watched you and Jamaica's podcast. I'm like, okay. And when I tell you it took 15, 20 minutes, and I was adamant. I was like, oh, no, Mama, you can't call me with that level of passion in your voice. I'm not even going to call it anger, that level of passion.
Yeah.
We have to be able to talk about this, as uncomfortable as it's going to be, but you also got to be open to hear the fact that, no, you were not a great mother, but I've forgiven you. I also gave you grace for what you went through as a child.
Yeah.
You didn't have the right foundation, right? So you are absolutely right. And here's the other thing. It's not just you going back and having a conversation with your parents. What I got from women was, Deanna, I forwarded that video to my daughters, because now I'm concerned about how are my daughters looking at me.
Yeah.
And I need to know what they think my story is. And I need to share my story with them. And I want them to share theirs with me. So it's not just going back to your parents. It's mothers. If you got daughters, you need to have these conversations. Because it'll probably clear up a whole lot of why you and your daughter don't either get along, or why she making the decision she making that you don't agree with. Because her mirror is you.
Yeah. And sometimes that's why we don't even realize why we're bumping heads with our children, is because they're literally a version of us.
And nobody likes looking in the mirror and actually having to check yourself.
Ooh, right.
It's easy to point the finger at everybody else, but go look up in that mirror and have a real authentic conversation. Like, girlfriend, get yourself together.
Yeah. That's tough. But yeah, and again, what you're also doing is, like I was saying, you're changing the trajectory of your bloodline, right?
Yeah.
From some of the things that your mom and your grandma had going, and you're shifting it.
Yeah.
And that's how we start breaking generational curses.
Yeah. Yeah, me and my daughter have very honest conversations, and I give her the platform to say, I'm not going to judge and I'm not going to be angry, but you got to at least allow me that if I feel some level of disappointment, I can be able to express disappointment. And so that allows for her and I to have these real conversations. And she knows, because it all starts with trust, right? We don't feel safe enough to be able to come and share how we truly feel. And so that's what I've changed with my kids. No, this is a safe place.
Yeah. But with that, what I just heard is what you said earlier, that I believe you said it was a lady, that one of your friends, where she basically said that, I haven't forgiven myself because I don't trust God has
forgiven me, right? So all of that balances out together.
Yeah.
And we're literally stuck in that perpetual cycle, you know, and I think I said it last time, but we're going to keep saying it, is that, you know, I say the devil is a crackhead.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Why is the devil a crackhead?
Because any crack that you give him, he'll take it.
Yeah.
He'll take it and he'll come in and he'll set up shop.
I like it. I like that.
So a lot of us have cracks for the devil, and we're just feeding them, and we're not stopping that feeding. We're not stopping that. And again, the only way to stop it is that you have to put that mediator in between.
Yeah.
That starts telling you, that starts maturing you, that starts pruning you, that starts doing all these things. Because the truth is, like, you know, like we can't do it alone.
No, we can't.
Because we don't know.
We don't know what we're doing. I like it. Yeah, we don't know what we're doing.
We don't know what we're doing.
No.
Yeah.
Some of us are on autopilot. We just get up every morning, brush our teeth, brush our hair, go about our day, go to that job, go to that office. We are on autopilot.
Yep. Dead.
You better wake up.
I call it,
You better wake up.
I call it dead.
Yeah.
We're just dead. We're alive, you know, but we're just dead men walking, just going through the process, going through the motions.
And that's how we end up hurting people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're so numb to stuff, we don't even know what pain feels like.
Because we don't want to deal with it.
Nope.
Because then we would have to look at ourselves.
That's right.
What part did I have
Go
to
on,
play?
preach, girl. Go on, preach, Stan. Go on, preach, Stan.
Because that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing ever is for you to take accountability and responsibility for the hurt you have caused somebody else. Whether they hurt you, whatever the reasoning is, but you caused pain to somebody else. And that does not feel good when you have to take a look at yourself in the mirror with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people out there do not want to do that. They don't. So let's switch gears.
Okay. All right, let's switch gears.
So first, tell the people about where and when your podcast is.
Okay.
All right. So let's do that first.
Okay. So Let's Be Raw podcast. It's on YouTube. You can go and subscribe to @the Deanna Deanna Green, just like the color or money. And we've already dropped 2 episodes. The 3rd episode will be dropped today. I'm already geared up for season 2, and I'm already casting for season 3. So if you're also a woman that especially after watching this episode, and you truly have a story that you want to share authentically, and it might be to heal you, and it may be to heal those that will watch the episode, you can reach out to me at info@thedeannagreen.com. I'd love to be able to interview you and see if you're a great fit. What else? What else you want me to tell them about?
Well, we're also going to talk about 52 Shades and your Knock Knock and all those things.
Okay, so also under LBR, Let's Be Raw is a media agency. So I'm also meeting women where they are today. So to help you actually not only get your voice, but actually share your story. We have the podcast. We also have an international magazine that's print and digital. So there's an opportunity to be featured in the magazine. You can also advertise in the magazine. We have a book anthology that's going to be coming out or starting up this year. So I'm going to be interviewing 10 to 12 women, helping you become an author, 1 chapter at a time. And then we're also getting ready to announce our location in Dubai of next year for our international speaking conference. So this will give you ladies the opportunity to actually get on an international stage and be able to tell your story to the world. And we'll have a wellness component to it also. So those are the 4 things that fall up underneath the Let's Be Raw Media Agency.
And also, if you're an entrepreneur out there, because I have to push this, you're an entrepreneur, you need an office space.
Yeah.
You need, one of the biggest things for me personally that, it's like you have a business, but you got to have a legit address.
Not a P.O. box.
Not a P.O. box, and you don't want to use your own home address. Right. So the Biz Lounge does offer that, and I think that is awesome.
Yeah,
So,
we do. We also have a podcast studio, so if you want to shoot there, you can. We've got an event space, so if you want to host an event, whether it's a business mixer, a birthday party, a girls' night out, a workshop, We have co-working space, so you could just drop in, pay for a membership, and come in. Think about Starbucks without all the noise. We have a conference room that you can rent out to. And then we have a cafe area as well. So that's at 3660 Barker Cypress Road, where we are in Suite 220 and 230.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this for me,
Yes.
I love this thing right
Yes.
here. I love this 52 Shades of Wealth. And the reason why I personally love it is because some of the questions in there, the reflection question, this is all about money and how to get you to be better with money in your finances, because there's a lot of us out there that are waiting for God to drop $1 million on our laps. But the truth of the matter is,
Or find us a rich man.
it doesn't work like that. Because even the forefathers, even Abraham, even Joseph, even all of them, they had to work, right? They had to put in some work to get to that first $1,000.
Right.
And then they multiplied that $1,000 to 10,000 and then to 100. And then they eventually got to $1 million or $1 billion, whatever it is that they had. So this is why I really think this is, these cards are really great, because it asks reflection questions about your spending habit, about what you do. Because when I looked through it, I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on now.
That sound like me. That sound like
I was like, okay, let me look at them. Let me look at a couple of things here that I can do differently.
Well, it's a mindset. And I think, to your point, when you talk about Joseph and Abraham, the other thing is, if you're a true believer, I believe that God will test us and he'll give us, whether that's money, property, material things, whatever it is that we've said to God our heart desires. And he will give you a little bit of it to see how responsible you are going to be with it. And so I always say, if God gave you $1,000 and you squandered that $1,000, then why would you think that he's going to trust you with $100,000?
Facts.
Right? So that's what 52 Shades of Wealth is. It's for you to really heart check your healthy and unhealthy relationship with money. Understanding needs versus wants. A lot of us do not understand the difference, right? And then the challenge of it is, literally, when you have bad money habits, it's just like with most bad habits, they didn't happen overnight, which means they're not going to be fixed overnight. So the 52 Shades is literally 52 weeks, a whole year of you undoing the bad habits you have. And here's the other thing. A lot of our bad habits didn't even come from us. They started generationally. So this is also part of, everybody's on this, I'm breaking generational curses from a wealth standpoint. Well, how are you doing that? How are you having conversations with your children? Again, these kids today are so much smarter, and they have access to things that we never did. So it is never too early to start talking to them about credit. It is never too early. Sit them down. We might not do the whole checkbook thing anymore, but pull up the bank account and let them truly see. So when you say to your child, money don't grow on trees, we can't afford this time, your kid can be able to reconcile that, because you've shown them every month, here's how much money came in. Here's went to our essentials. And here's a little bit that we had to be able to do something like take you to Chuck E. Cheese.
And it helps not to lead to entitlement.
That's right. And good workmanship.
Absolutely.
Okay?
So where can we, if we wanted to purchase the set, where can we get it at?
So you can go to 52shadesofwealth.com. You can order from there. If you're here local in Houston, I'm happy to even personally deliver it to you. It's all gift box. Otherwise, we also ship out. And also, to order pieces of me, you can order it on Amazon. They will ship that out to you. Again, also, you can go to my website if you want an actual signed copy, and I'll ship it to you. And that's at deannagreen.com. I also have Knock Knock, which is a technology app. It's a business digital card on steroids. It is for serial entrepreneurs, so you're able to create multiple cards to share different businesses. You can market, you can sell your product and services right through your Knock Knock card. And you can also promote yourself to the entire Knock Knock community. So it's another way that we're trying to help entrepreneurs put their feet in rooms they haven't entered yet.
So everything will be in the description link down below, so you guys can have access to that. And so
with everything that, again, is being talked about here, I don't know if you guys have taken note that a key to all of this, a key to what Deanna has been saying, the change in her mindset, her maturing, has been one and one being only, and that is God, right? Mm-hmm. And the only way if you don't know who Jesus Christ is, or if you don't know who God is, but you kind of curious, want to know, to hear him, because that's who is guiding us. That's who is helping us know where we're going and what we're doing. And without him, the world seems like they know what they're doing, but they really don't. The world is truly lost. If you just take a look at what's going on in the news, how there's no regards to life, how everything, from politics to money to the economy to all around the world, everything that's happening, it's simply that people just are going out for self and they're not looking out for another. And there's a reason for that. And that's because God is not at the center and truly at the center of their life. We're not talking about the fake Christians now, because
right. That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole other show. Okay. But I really want to say to you guys, if you just want to be able to have that Spirit lead you, guide you, what I have to say to you is all you have to do is ask Holy Spirit to come into your life. And it's simple. It doesn't have to be some of the things that you see in the church, long takes, 50 million prayers. It's just simply truly believing in what you're saying, closing your eyes. You don't even have to close your eyes. You just confess with your mouth that, Lord, I don't know who you are, but I would like to know who you are. Just come into my life and show me who you are. It's as simple as that. I welcome you here. Show me who you are. And here, and we don't know what we're doing, we say, right, try Jesus for 30 days or you can get your old life back.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
You can get your old life back.
Your old life back.
Okay, money guaranteed, satisfaction guaranteed. Because once you get a taste, it changes everything.
Yes, it does.
It does. It doesn't make things easier. I feel like I have to premise that. It does not make things easier, but you're just able to take it just so much better, and you have guidance and peace.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think I look at it now is, instead of me trying to be so, focused on trying to please everybody else out there, right now, I just want to please God.
Yeah.
I just literally, that's enough. That checks me, right? All right, Deanna, before you do this, is this going to please God?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I do say, and I tell my children this, is at the same time, we're human, right? We make mistakes. And I say that whatever decision you make, as long as you can get up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and be okay with that decision and accept whatever consequences might come with that decision, make that decision.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. God is still an ever-forgiving God as well. And he knows your heart, too. And if you go to him in true repentance, right? True repentance. And say those words, I'm sorry, please forgive me. It's just that simple, too.
Yep,
I'm sorry,
really
please forgive me.
Yeah, it really is. So with that, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I truly, truly appreciate it. As always, I'm going to ask you guys, don't forget to get the merch. Don't forget to help the channel out by getting some of the merch. Don't forget to share, subscribe, right? And help us get to 1K so we can just have the algorithm finds us, the fake algorithm gods. Okay. So we can just go ahead and keep pushing out, because some of these messages, these topics that we're talking about, they are for somebody out there, and we need your help in getting these messages out and helping it reach the person that it is supposed to reach. If it's not for you, fine, but at least help us reach that other person that it's for. So we truly appreciate it. I thank you so much. Thank you girls so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's a great episode.
Yes.
Great
so
interview.
Until, I think that's it, y'all. Don't forget to tune in for the next episode, and we will see you next time. Bye.